Okay, cool. All right, so YouTube is telling me that we're 10 seconds behind, so hopefully we're actually live now that we're 10 seconds in. If you're new here, I am Jesse Morgan, aka Slammerella. This is where I normally put the little image up, but don't have it here for the live stream. But yeah, Black Metal Rebellion, and with me tonight is Katie from Katie of the Night. She is a fellow horror, metal, and philosophy type channel where she talks about life, horror movies, more recently Giallo, which is freaking awesome, and the occasional metal video too. So the reason why Katie and I are here tonight are to talk about something super duper cool that she's recently done with her husband, and that is a short independent horror film by the name of Stairs to Nowhere. If you check in the description box below, I will have the links to her channel and said cool little short horror film. So right off the bat, Katie, if there's anything you'd like to say about yourself and your channel before we get started.
No, I think you pretty much covered it. Yeah, metal horror, whatever else I feel like. Hopefully, some more short films in the future.
Hell yeah. Awesome. Glad to hear it. And that's actually part of a question I had later. All right. So, again, I'm pretty stoked about a fellow horror and metal YouTuber doing their own indie horror short film, because that's something that I've always wanted to do myself. If you've been a fan of my channel for a long while, first of all, thank you so much. And secondly, you'll probably remember the video I did where I'm like, I would like to be in movies or I want to be an actor. And that's kind of a thing that led me to recently try to do the indie thing myself. But let's ask Katie about hers first, shall we? So the first question I have about Stairs to Nowhere is what actually I'm going to skip a couple questions here first. Whose idea was it for the Stairs to Nowhere like idea, and who kind of came up with the direction for where Stairs to Nowhere went?
Um, I think it all started because we, a place where we like to go walking, there are stairs that lead to nowhere. And we always thought, that's so creepy. We should take pictures of those creepy stairs or do something cool with those creepy stairs. And then, of course, you probably know it's a popular kind of like scary story on the internet where people find stairs in the woods. And I was actually listening to a podcast where they were telling some stairs in the woods stories, and I started thinking to myself how we could make that into a movie and what we would put at the top of those stairs. So I also am really into the paranormal, so we get a lot of missing time surrounding paranormal phenomena. So
Right.
I was like, well, let's just put missing time at the top of those stairs. Nothing's up there, but a whole day has gone by somehow. Um, I guess it was initially my idea, but Zach and I, my husband Zach, who's my um, co-maker of this film, we had kind of a brainstorm session and worked out together, like collaboratively, how this would go. So I guess it all kind of started with the fact we have some stairs and we've heard those scary stories of stairs.
All right, cool, cool. And that kind of answered a teeny bit of the other question I had, among the 10 or so I have for you. Another thing was who originally, how did I word this here? I can't find the question at the moment, but basically it was like who originally found the stairs, or how did you guys find the stairs to nowhere?
I don't even know which one of us noticed it first, but it's just like right off of this walking trail, but you have to kind of be looking for it to see it. It was probably me. I'm gonna say I found them. It's not too far off the beaten path. You just have to be looking into the woods when you're walking, which is what I'm usually doing. I guess hoping I'll find something interesting, and I did.
Yeah, it's funny you say that because even in the film, the main character, does he go by Zach in the movie as well, or
He
I
goes
can't
by
remember.
Jake in the movie.
Jake, right? Sorry. Um, yeah, Jake. Even in the movie, he kind of just looks around and veers off in a random path and doesn't quite follow where it looked like the trail kept going. And so it's neat that you kind of discover in the film the stairs the kind of way you found it in real life.
That's a great point. I never really thought about that. We were just kind of like, we wander around. And we're always just looking around.
Nice. That was another thing I was going to compliment about the film too. Not really a question, but it was like um, I knew there was a few really cool details, like the nature footage and the close-ups of the nature around where you were hike or he was hiking in the film, and like the trees, the backgrounds, the close-up of the ground, and the little like house shrine thing you guys found with the coins. That was really really neat. I know it's just a small part of the film, but I'd like to know more about the shrine. What was that about?
Yeah, sure. So first of all, with the nature, I just kind of wanted to take a moment to showcase Alabama because obviously it has a bad reputation, but we have some beautiful natural environments. So I thought I would really focus in on that. And it's so beautiful, but it's miserably hot. So it looks much prettier than it feels. But as for the little fairy house, we came up with that idea. We put that there.
Oh, you guys put it there for the film?
Yes, it's usually in our backyard. So
Oh,
we took it with us and put it there for the film because we wanted to find some ways to show that this hike is a hike that the character takes routinely. So we wanted to show that this fairy house is a place where he drops off a coin, or fairy door is a place where he drops off the coin every time he hikes, and just kind of wanted to show that he was been there many times before but has never seen those stairs till now. So it was kind of just a little piece to demonstrate this is a familiar territory for him.
nice. I would have never guessed that you guys kind of just added that to the path. I thought it was just like another thing you guys discovered while you hiking and forest searching, and it kind of I thought that was naturally in there that you'd like put a coin on and pay respects for. I actually didn't think that they put this there on purpose and it was part of the props and stuff. So cool.
That means it was super believable then.
No, it was. I would never thought they put this there.
Yeah, now we had it, we already had it because I got it at the Dollar Tree like a couple months ago. So we didn't actually have to spend any money on it, which still made a no budget movie.
No, that's really cool, and that is the thing about indie films and no budget films that I don't know if people really realize. Like someone like myself who really really wants to get into independent filming and like getting behind the camera and filming stuff and doing like everyone always has this kind of misconception that I've got to have at least $1,000 in my pocket, or I got to have the top of the line like Canon camera at least, or like a giant like super expensive boom and shotgun mic and this and that. You don't really need to do that. If you have the drive to put something in front of the camera, take a little bit of time for editing and some maybe sound mixing, you can go and film whatever you like with what's in your pocket, what's laying around the house. And you know, I don't want people's misconceptions about short indie films to stop themselves from creating. So I'm glad that you took the initiative and said, I'm not waiting around to be cast called or sign up for an audition. I'm going out there and I'm filming something, god damn it.
That's exactly my attitude. And people are so scared to start small. And they're also scared to make something that could be bad. But I love bad movies, so I wasn't afraid to make something bad. And yeah, people don't want to just start where they're at. They want to wait till they have more resources. But if you start where you're at, then you can just accumulate resources as you go from there.
Agreed. I mean, not everyone's resume looks like, oh, started working with, Universal Studios, worked with Spielberg, did this. And no, everyone's resume normally looks like I pulled my phone out of my back pocket and recorded my friend's band, or, oh, I went over to this local school play and I did some photography for the kids class performing Silent Night or something, like something small, something cute, something that'll just get your toes dipped in the filming pool. That's all you really need.
Exactly. Yeah. I say just start. Everyone should just start if they want to. Start now.
Yep. Don't let your dreams be dreams.
Exactly.
All right. Another question that I was going to ask, but I actually rewatched the film right before this video or this stream, just to make sure I had everything in mind before we did this. I was going to ask, who is Rusty? But then the credits rolled, and I'm like, oh, it's Zach. But the voice sounds like some kind of, I don't know, wheat eating hick that meets up with them on a regular basis to go hiking. So that's what I was going to ask. I'm like, who is Rusty?
That was another thing we inserted into the movie to show that this is a place where Jake goes all the time. But we were like, where are we going to get another person? I was like, maybe we can just show him off screen. And then I asked Zach, I was like, can you do a Rusty voice? And he was like, hi there. Okay, you've got this. Yeah. So he voiced Rusty, and Rusty was just off screen. But we needed something in there for one to show that this is the place that Jake goes all the time, and for two, we needed someone to kind of hint that perhaps a whole day had passed, even though Zach or Jake thinks he just saw Rusty. Yeah, so that was just Zach and some fancy sound splicing.
That Yeah, that's brilliant. Actually, I until I saw the credits, I'm like, that was clearly another actor or someone doing it. And then as soon as I saw the credits, I'm like, wait, that was Zach. And then I re-listened to the voice and I cracked up. I'm like, holy crap, that was good.
I wish we had had another person, but that is a fun little secret that was just Zach.
No, that's pretty good. I again would have never guessed that that was just an overdubbing of Zach doing a funny voice. So kudos for that for sure.
Thank you.
No problem. So all right, I'm gonna cross that up. The mystery of Rusty solved.
All
Uh,
secrets closed.
um, what else we got here? Okay, yeah, we figured out where the stairs came from. Oh, okay. Now these are just basic questions that I probably would ask any indie filmmaker because I want to know the kind of stuff that I'm going to have to deal with in the future. Uh, so we'll start with the fun one first. What was the most fun part of filming this, The Stairs to Nowhere?
My the most fun part at the very end was realizing I had so much blooper material. I didn't even know we were doing anything remotely funny, but I ended up finding a lot while I was editing, and I just kept pushing it to the back and had a whole blooper reel by the end of it. But I just think it was really fun experimenting with different camera angles and just, I mean, it didn't take a long time. All the nature footage we were done in like an hour and 45 minutes, but it was fun kind of playing around with that, and find editing was the most fun. Finding a way to make it all seem cohesive. Editing was the most fun.
That's funny you say that because for me personally, I hate editing. That is literally the reason why I don't post too much to my YouTube channels. I got about like 6 of them, which probably doesn't help either. But yeah, editing, like just sitting. Okay, it's almost it's partially the editing that I find tedious, but it's also we don't have an air conditioner, and we live in the upper part of a loft, and we got roommates downstairs. But heat rises, right? And in the middle of summer, our loft gets like if it's 30 degrees Celsius here, or like regularly, then it's like 35 or 36 degrees in our loft. And all we have is fans, and then put the laptop on my lap, and then I'm just overheated by it. Like it's so I know I'm bitching about the stupidest thing about editing, but the heat definitely is not fun. Next year, we hopefully will get a proper AC installed so I can at least not worry about that part of the editing because the laptop plus the heat is hell.
You're at least, I mean, for YouTube, you're at least good at talking without taking multiple breaks in between. I have to edit, like, I have to do jump cuts, like, between almost every sentence that I say when I edit.
Wait, so that means you're not noticing my million jump cuts?
No!
Sweet.
I'm not. I'm not.
Oh yeah, let me tell you, I have lots. I have oodles of jump cuts. Trust me. There's all the sentence filler I cut out. There's all the sneezing that happens because of all the dust collected from all the CDs hanging out around here. Oh, trust me, there are jump cuts.
Oh, I didn't even notice.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you. Um, so that's speaking of bitching about things. What would you say was the biggest hurdles in filming The Stairs to Nowhere?
Let me tell you. Sound. I've never thought about sound in my whole life until now. I can see why people don't want to do this until they have a boom mic or something because it was really challenging. You probably heard those cicadas throughout the whole movie, those cricket sounding bugs.
Yeah, the blooper reel was really good at letting you know how much fucking things can go off in the background while you're trying to film. Like I was getting annoyed for you. It's like the car door, someone's phone, whatever the fuck was going on in the neighbor's house. I'm like sitting there going, "Shut up," for you.
Cute. Yeah, it's definitely sound, but um I relied heavily on this website called freesound.org. I inserted so many sound effects through that website because a lot of parts of this movie I had to mute and insert sounds afterwards. But doing with outside ambient noise, and if you're like splicing a bunch of different scenes together, that noise is going to be like constantly, like, it's not going to be smooth.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be very jarring, and you're gonna hear one loop cut to the next to the next. Yeah.
So it was a big pain to try to minimize that as much as I could. That was the biggest challenge.
Actually, Lonnie's in the chat. I don't know if you know who Classy Lonnie is,
Yeah.
but yeah. All right, cool. But yeah, Classy Lonnie's in the chat. He was asking what is some good free editing software that someone could use for video editing. I said Hit Film Express because that's what I use. But do you have any suggestions?
Well, if you're on a Mac, iMovie is probably a great place to start. It can only do basic stuff, but I use Wondershare Filmora for the PC. Um, I should type that out, but it's Wondershare Filmora, and it was like $50. But I think they also have a subscription service if you want to. I don't know how. I bought it a long time ago, so I just did the one time purchase. But it does a lot. It's what I edited this movie on.
Oh, nice, nice. Yeah, I noticed that a lot of people like to do. Sorry, it's a tangent, everyone, but kind of important if you want to do this kind of thing. I noticed that when people do the tier rankings, they have like their face kind of over here, and then they'll have the tier over here on a separate screen, like happening live both at the same time. And I've always wondered, how the hell do you do that?
I do it on Wondershare. A screen record with VLC media player, and I record myself with my camera. And those
Nice.
are pretty easy to edit. I see the mayor has mentioned Baby Oopsie.
Yep, I saw that too.
I watched that last night for the third time because I have a problem.
Yeah, you said Baby Oopsie was from the Demonic Toys series?
Mm, yep. But it's a 2021 movie.
I don't know if I've seen Demonic Toy. I know I've seen a lot of the Puppet Master ones, but I don't know if I've seen Demonic Toys or not. I had to have. I'm pretty sure I have it in like a combo pack of like killer toy compilation movie. But
I just love killer toys. I don't know why. Anyway, I didn't mean to derail you from the questions at hand.
all good, all good. Uh, and I was going to say another thing too about the fun part of filming was uh, you never want to delete anything because you never know if you have like some gold B roll or if you've got some funny bloopers to throw in at the end.
Yeah, so
So
true. So true. I had to trim down so much. I think initially I had like maybe 35 minutes of footage and eventually trimmed it down to 11 minutes. There's a lot of beautiful shots that I just can't show them all. There was too many. Nobody wants to watch a nature show.
yeah, it's definitely one thing that as an indie film or a beginner filmer that you have to watch out for is not putting everything on the screen just because you filmed it. I know it's like every reel, every second of the film is your baby, but it's like, should I put in this like 5 minute long walk along the nature trail, or should I just get to the part where they arrive there? Should I do a, you know, stuff
Yeah,
like that?
and it's hard to conveying the passage of time is always a challenge for me. Like, how do I make it look like he's been hiking for a while, you know, as opposed to just hiking for 5 minutes, which is what he was doing. But that came together pretty well, I think, just by showing different viewpoints.
No, it was good. I liked all the, like I said, the attention to detail for a lot of things, just like the zooming into the shoes to tie them up, to know these are getting ready. It's kind of like a daily ritual, and how the Zoom call went was pretty neat, and how like you're encouraging them to keep going out there and getting fit.
Right. Yeah, the Zoom call was um, kind of improvised. Like we knew what the points we wanted to hit, but we just turned on the call and just went for it without really practicing. So it turned out pretty good. We kind of were trying to do like as few takes as possible, um, which, from what I understand, is one of the characteristics of guerrilla filmmaking, where you just do like one take and then get out of there. So that's kind of the approach we were going for. I think because I'm impatient.
You're just like, I want this thing done, damn it.
Yes, I was getting very antsy.
It was funny, the kind of exasperation on Zach's face. He's like, how many more times do I have to stand here and deliver this line?
He was getting very hangry.
Didn't have a Snickers ready, I guess.
No, and he should have.
That's funny. I don't think I have too many more questions about this, actually, except for maybe one or two. Who was, now thinking about it, I probably know the answer, but just for people who don't know, who was doing most of the actual camera and filming work?
It was all me, and I think Zach did a little bit, and then I used a tripod a lot, but it was me, and I used my what is my camera? It's not a Sony. Yes, it's a Sony. It's new. I used my Sony little like not really a point and shoot. It's a ZV-1, that I use to make YouTube videos. I use that for filming. But I also really love when people make movies on their iPhone.
Nice. Well, I'm going to be making mine on this little Samsung Galaxy. So
Awesome.
wish me luck.
It's gonna be great. We started watching some iPhone independent films that were uploaded onto YouTube, and I just think it is so cool. I love it.
I know there's like a really big movie about this woman who gets uh, in inadvertently like put into a mental hospital, and the director filmed it all on his iPhone. I'm not sure what that movie was called though. I want to watch it,
I don't know either. It sounds
but
great.
it was like a Hollywood deal too. Like it was like a Hollywood film production, but it was all done on the director's little iPhone just to see if he could. I'm assuming he probably had like thousands and thousands of dollars to spend on audio, but yeah, it was just all filmed on his iPhone.
I think experimentation like that is so important, and I just really respect it when I see people just trying something like you said to see if they can. It's awesome.
It's called Unsane. Nice. Okay, yeah, that does strike a bell with me. I think
Yeah,
that's
that
what it
sounds
is.
familiar.
But that's actually what inspired me, not specifically, but like that kind of idea that a big Hollywood director and producer would do a film just on their iPhone kind of gives me the courage to go just, yeah, I could do that too. Let's see how it goes. Um, was there any did you guys do any storyboarding, or did you have any kind of like uh, outlines for certain beats that you wanted to hit specifically in the short film?
Yeah. Um, we wrote a script, and then we read it. We like read it out. We kind of like played it out in our heads, and then we revised it. And then I did a storyboard. But after I drew it out, I didn't really need to look at it anymore because I remembered everything I wanted to do. Actually, I forgot a couple of things, and I was like, oh, we forgot to do this while we were out there. But ultimately, I think I can't even remember what it was now that I forgot. But the storyboard definitely helped me in conceptualizing it, but did not. I didn't need it when I executed it. But it was a very short film, so
Right, right. It's not going to be like a 40 or 50 page storyboard kind of thing.
right.
um, there is a video you did on your channel quite a while back. I don't know if it was 2 or 3 months ago, but I remember you saying that you were talking with a friend that wanted to take you guys out to dinner and talk about doing a indie short film or something with you guys. And you said at one point that he was taking a break or got sick or something. Did one, did he ever get back to you about that? And two, was that related to Stairs to Nowhere at all?
Great questions. Yeah. Okay. So working with this friend on the short film is kind of what catapults me into this. But um, he was trying to put on a film that it was going to be a bit of a bigger production than what I did, for example. So we had many rehearsals for like a month and a half,
Okay.
and then it stopped. He got busy. I don't know. Something happened. It it's just probably not going to happen. But that's why I was like, why am I waiting? I'm going to make a movie. Um, but doing all those rehearsals and stuff was obviously, as you know, by my whiny video I made about it, it was very hard. Acting was really hard, especially, you know, scenes that are supposed to be intense and when you're working with people you have never met before. But it ended up being really transformational, sounds so dramatic, but it ended up being like really encouraging and just I don't know, it made me feel like I do want to be a part of making film, behind the camera, in front of the camera, any of it. So it's like I had a little stint in short film with that friend, but it never happened. But it was okay because I think it's the start that I needed.
Hey, fair enough. I mean, you never know in life what is going to catapult you forward or give you that little nudge that you needed to start doing the things that you really wanted to do and just kind of go, why am I waiting? I have, the minimal amount of stuff that I would possibly need to do this. I'm just sitting around waiting, for a kick in the pants to do it. Why don't I just start doing a little bit every day, one step at a time, and I'll eventually, achieve my goal to doing this thing. And even if it's quote unquote garbage, if someone wants to label it that, I still went out there, took the time, and did something, and was productive, put myself out there, did the thing I wanted to do. Now it's like, even if someone thinks it's garbage, it's art. Someone's gonna love it, someone's gonna hate it, someone's gonna be meh about it. But did the and normally the people that are negative towards things or talking shit about things, apologies for the language, but they're normally the people that don't actually do anything in their own lives. They're the ones that want to just sit back and critique and be jealous that other people are achieving things and being successful. So that's the way you got to look at it if you're an independent filmmaker or a music artist or like an actual artist that paints shit, like with more skills than I have. And you know you just got to look at it like, I did something that a lot of people wouldn't have the motivation or balls to do. So they can go ahead and talk shit, but at least I went out there and did it. That's the attitude you got to have, because if you are trying to please everyone and make something that everyone's going to enjoy, you're probably never going to get off your chair or couch and do it. So kudos to you again for actually getting out there and doing something where most people wouldn't.
Thank you. And kudos to you for being in pre production.
Thank you, thank you.
First steps.
Yeah, we. I guess I can talk a little bit about mine if you want.
Definitely.
Right now, it's September. We should be in the last couple of days of choreography for the fight scene in the short film, but sadly, the main cast member, Shifu Spinner, got COVID, and we had to kind of halt production. That sounds
Oh,
really, really fancy, but
so you're
basically,
already filming now? You
no, no,
already
no.
okay.
Unfortunately, we're not filming anything. Like I said, this week would have been the last day of choreography if it had been still going on. But
Gotcha.
yeah, unfortunately, the main cast member for the role of this got COVID, so they're um, what are you calling that, quarantining to their house right now, and no one's allowed over. And we don't want to take the chance, because if anyone else in the production team, being myself or Tiffany Wright or any of the kids that are going to be involved in the dojo scene, get sick, then that's going to be another delay. So we just want to make sure that Shifu's feeling a lot better, testing negative before we start setting up and trying to finish that choreography. And then once the last day of choreography is done, then we should start getting out there and finding the location to shoot and start shooting. So, but that might not happen till mid-October, and I don't know what the weather's going to be like. But the cast was kind of wearing like cut off sleeves and like really light stuff, because we were expecting warmer, like end of summer, beginning of fall weather. So I don't know. We might have to see a little bit more heavier wardrobe.
Well, you're doing something really, it's more commendable because you have a cast you're working with, which is really cool. I think that's exciting. I mean,
I,
me and Zach is just the two of us and a camera, you know. So I'm excited to see what you come out with.
I appreciate it. I mean, the cast kind of consists of uh, my kung fu teacher, Shifu Spinner, and his partner, my sister, Tiffany Wright, for the most part. But then we're going to have our kids kind of play the students that Shifu is teaching in the short film. We're not going to try to capture too much of their faces because we're not. It's not about who the kids are. It's more of just the shot of Shifu Spinner teaching the kids in the class, and it just kind of like gives like a bit of an intro and an outro part to the main film. But yeah, we're hoping that they'll be able to do some shots in there as well. Working with kids is a whole different ballpark too when it comes to filming, because it's one of those things where it's like they're not adults. They're not going to know proper, take formats. They're not going to know
Oh,
when to go or stop or anything. You're just gonna have to be like, film it, give them a general idea of what you're hoping for the scene, and just take the best cut.
yeah. So, how long is your film? How long are you shooting for runtime? I don't know how to speak all the language yet.
Um, I, from what I've seen in the indie film circles, if you're just starting out, less is more, and the shorter the better. So we're trying to make it under 10 minutes long. It's going to be hard though, because I'm one of those people that likes to get a little long in the tooth when it comes to the stories and what's all happening. I'm probably going to be cramming too much into a short period, because we're going to have the intro with like a monologue going on with Shifu doing like a kata, or uh, a pumse if you're into taekwondo, depending on whatever you take. But a form, basically a form, he's going to be doing around his dojo while the monologue happens, and then we're going to cut into the scene with the kids kind of ending the class, and then another scene with him pulling up to the location in the car, getting his costume on, getting like the eye paint on for his mask for his character, and then like kind of walking underneath some bridges and like have a whole fight scene there. And then that's going to wrap up and cut to the outro where he's got to another day where he's ending a session with the kids, and then finally the monologue for the outro. But it's not going to be like a long thing. It's just going to be like a quick couple of lines. He's going to kick at the camera, and then it's going to flash to the credits. But yeah, hopefully we can do that all in under 10 minutes.
That's so cool. It sounds like it's gonna be awesome.
Sounds like a lot of spoilers that I probably should have kept to myself. No.
Secret attendees of this live stream.
Yeah, no, it's all good. It's all good. If anything, I'd be looking for feedback on that idea, and anyone who sees the stream, please feel free to give Katie feedback on her short film. Go freaking watch it first, at least, please. Um, it's really, really neat, and the scenery is great. So even if you don't get the story, at least you have some really pretty like B-roll. So
Yeah, so true. It's just a vibe. It's a vibe you can hang out in. Listen to our cicadas.
exactly. Um, So the director or producer friend never got back to you about anything forward with the other film at all, or?
Well, I saw him a couple weeks ago. No, I actually saw him on the day I put out Stairs to Nowhere. And I just ran into him. And he was saying there's problems with someone in the cast not being available. And then he was saying he also doesn't have the money to fund everything right now. But he was trying to have like a crew, a crew and mics and a makeup department and some practical effects. He was wanting to make this kind of a big deal for his first film, and maybe it was too much for him at once.
Oh,
He kind of like sidestepped it, kind of implied there's some scheduling problems, but also some money problems. So that's where we're at, and it's okay. I'm moving on. I'm around, but I'm moving on.
alrighty. Yeah, I mean, it's understandable. I mean, it's one of those things you got to tackle as an independent film, you
Yeah,
know, director, and either you're going to go super guerrilla and indie with it, or you're going to try to make some sort of production about it. And it seemed like that's what your friends doing. They're going the latter. They're trying to go like the big production indie thing with all the sound and the crew and everything, and that's definitely commendable. My advice to him, like I'm any sort of big person to tell about it, but my advice to him would just be, maybe if you can't get that together right now, just make a quick little 2 minute short of something else to get your toes wet. Like when it comes to your resume, you don't have to have this huge lavacious thing on there as your first outing. You can have a silly little 2 minute comedy sketch, or you could have some sort of like artsy fartsy like photo shoot that kind of becomes some sort of philosophical statement, or a little, like, I don't know, action scene in the backyard with your friends. Like, yeah.
I agree completely. I think, well, he said this, he just does not want to make a bad movie. And that's what's holding him back, probably, is he doesn't want to make a bad movie. He wants to be all in, but because of that, he's waiting till he has all his ducks in a row. But I don't want to wait. Like I'd rather make a bad movie than no movie at all. And that's, everyone's
Hmm.
got their different style.
No, I totally hear you there. That is, you know, sometimes I'm very bullheaded when it comes to things, but you know, sometimes you need to just grab the bull by the horns and get things done. Like I said before, like everyone's going to have an opinion about what you put out there, whether it's like painting, music, short film, whatever kind of art you do. Some people are going to love it, some people are going to take a shit right all over it, but it in the end of the day, it matters to you how you felt about it, the time that you put into it, the people that you worked with. They're you know they matter, not the random criticisms of some anonymous account online that wants to tell you how terrible whatever you're doing is. So yeah, he says he wants to make a good movie, quote unquote. I would say just start with making a movie.
Seriously, I agree.
Yeah, but I mean, it's up to him. Like, I'm not trying to tell him what to do. I'm nobody. I've got like next to no subs on YouTube. So, but that's just my opinion. I mean, yeah, we're actually pretty darn close in subs, eh? I
Yeah.
think 4K and something.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah,
pretty cool.
I know, twins.
Twinsies, yeah. That's funny. Um, so getting back to Stairs from to Nowhere, uh, are there are there plans for a sequel or a longer version?
Not at the moment. I guess that would be cool. Like, I think it would be cool to utilize those stairs again, maybe when we have more experience and do something a bit cooler with them. But you know what? It's possible. Right now, we're just thinking about, like, the next thing we want to do is another horror, but a shorter one. Um, as more of a challenge. I've been watching like 3 minute horror shorts and stuff and seeing how those go. I think it'd be fun to do like a 3 minutes or less to see what we come up with. But we have
Nice, nice.
all kinds of ideas.
Yeah, just kind of spitballing here, but it'd be cool if there was like a little bit more of like a longer version of your film, and had like either a kind of show where he went during that time period, or showed like friends or whatever searching for him and not knowing where he went, and sending like texts like, hey, where did you go? And then like maybe have like the screen like fizzle or like distort when the messages don't go through, or stuff like that for a longer version. Or have a documentary about the man that was lost, and where did he go, what
Yes.
is his tale.
Yeah, I did come up with several different ideas for the stairs, but a lot of them would have like been more complicated. But yeah, I thought about those stairs and stair stories a lot. And there are a lot of different ways you could go. There will be more stairs, I think.
All
And the
right, awesome.
controller and expansion would be cool too. It would be good exercise.
Yeah, because it would sort of be like how Sam Raimi did Book of Evil or Woods of Evil. It's like a little like 8 minute short of the Evil Dead, sort of like he did right out of film college. But then like later on, they did a little bit longer version. I think it was a 20-minute longer version, and I think his brother was involved. Ted Raimi was involved in that one. And then from that little pilot, they got the bigger like more money and funding for the actual first Evil Dead movie.
Yeah, that's what happened with Terrifier as well. Terrifier was that short film called All Hallows Eve, and then they
That was
expanded
good.
it to Terrifier. Yeah, good point.
But yeah, I was just saying because I could see that for you guys, like you guys coming up with maybe I don't know if you need more of a budget or more cast in it, but like I could definitely see like an expansion of Stairs to Nowhere, and maybe like a documentary about the man that was lost. Where did he go? What did he see?
That'd be so
Cotton
cool.
Eye Joe, you
Agree.
yeah.
Yeah. And
But elaborating on that, the last question I have officially for you is what other short film ideas do you have for the future, if any?
I'll tell you a little bit about how we are coming up with ideas. Well, okay, we're really focused on horror, but we do want to like try something funny at some point. But right now my mind's just in horror. So in coming up with ideas, I'm asking myself, what is scary to me? Like what am I scared of? And
Right.
how can I incorporate that into movies? So like the next one we're working on is, so something that scares me is when people are knocking on my door or when anyone's knocking on the wall or whatever. The sound of knocking that's unexpected really scares me. So this next film we want to do will involve someone knocking on the door in the middle of the night. I'll just say that much because it's only going to be about 3 minutes.
Oh, that's pretty cool. It's definitely leaves a lot of intrigue, and even with that small synopsis, I could only imagine what could happen.
I know, it gets so many things.
Well, I
So
mean, just with the fact that normally people don't like if they're coming to see you, they don't normally knock on your door. They'll text you, be like, "I'm here now," and then you'll like come out and see them. So it's like, who the hell would be knocking?
yeah, so that'll be scary. I hope.
No, that's cool. It's always neat to kind of get an inside look into what is kind of like next on the director or writer's minds when it comes to film or art or anything like that. I know the I know I myself I haven't really even gotten close to getting on site for filming yet, but I've got a couple of other ideas for short films in the future too. Um, not martial arts related, although if that one goes well, I wouldn't mind getting a little bit more production value and being able to actually pay some actors to be in some episodes or whatever. But I too also have like some kind of short horror ideas. One being more wrapped around a kind of cursed supernatural object that affects people it comes in contact with, and a another one that, cross my fingers, I might be able to actually start getting into production with winter 2023, and I mean more in like closer to November and December, not like January and February because that's way too soon. But yeah, that one's gonna be more of a slasher, I guess.
Oh,
There's gonna be a main kind of serial killer that's trying to kill the cast of the thing, and there's gonna be probably some bloody scenes in it if we can get it just right. I gotta figure out what we're going to use for props and figure out who all we can use in the cast because I have a neighbor that would be perfect for the Uncle Ernie character that I have in mind, but I don't know if he'd be down for it. I used to work for him, so I have a little bit of a toe in the door to talk to him about it. But
That sounds awesome. I can't wait to see what else you come out with. Too bad all this takes so long because I'm impatient.
yeah, the production and getting everything together and the storyboards and the outlines for all the dialogue and everything takes a long time for sure.
Yeah, and then the post production when you're like, "Yay, I'm ready to get this out," but then you have to spend forever working on it after filming.
Yeah, actually, that just reminded me of something for post production. You guys had a like a song that was featured in your short film. It was playing on the radio. I'm assuming that was one of your friends' bands.
It's Zach.
Oh,
That's his band. Yeah. I was really excited to be able to use his music in something. And I was also excited to be able to use some good quality music with full permission. So,
that is definitely one of the bigger hurdles I feel like is going to be for my films. Just because the music I make isn't anywhere near like really good production. It's also very DIY stuff, like programmed drumming, made on a almost free software thing. I use Mix Music Master Mix. I can't remember now. It's been a while, but yeah. Actually, do I have it down here? Magic Music. Oh, come on. Yeah, there we go. Magic's Music Maker. That's what I used. I paid $60 for it like 4 or 5 years ago, and I just keep using it. But yeah, there's only so many drum program loops that you can use before someone's like, "Hey, I've heard that before. That's a loop."
I'm on to you.
Yeah. So if and when I actually do some musical recording again, I'm probably gonna have to like find someone who actually wants to do some drumming for me. So yeah, I don't know. I don't think I can use any of my previous works music wise for the soundtrack or the in film music. It'll probably be weird.
Unless you have maybe a very grungy look to the film, and then you can put grungy sounding music with it.
Yeah, I don't know because the only thing I have to use right now is like the 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 black metal project or my kind of solo horror punk project.
Well,
And
black metal's allowed to sound rough.
yeah, I guess punk and black metal are very rough, expected to be rough sounding stuff for sure. But I just don't know if it would fit well with the action scene or the fighting scene we have or not. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, check out freesound.org. They also have some music on there. Maybe they have something that would fit.
Yeah, it's just I mean the thing I would be looking for is something like upbeat, a little fast, um, slightly oriental sounding, like the fight scene music that they have in the Naruto series. Perfect if we could have something like that, but I don't think we're going to find anything that sounds like that would be free. So
And see, this is why budgets can be helpful.
yeah,
The mayor says he recommends getting a GoFundMe to fund films that he had a friend that made a film that way called The Rage. I'll have to watch The Rage. I don't know what I would even need to buy first if I got money to make a movie. I don't I need to take some classes on filmmaking.
yeah. I was thinking of making a Patreon once the first short film was done for the kung fu film we're doing. Um, and if it looks good enough, and I feel like once it's done production and made and everything, and I feel like, oh, we could definitely make more of these and make it a little better. If I have that kind of feel about it, then I might start a Patreon and see if we can't get some perks and stuff. I don't know what kind of perks people would want, but yeah, hopefully we could invest and get some like money to pay actors for sure, because we'll need more people to play in it than just me, my sister, and my my kung fu teacher. So
Right. Or at least, to pay them, or not pay them, but like feed them every time y'all rehearse or something. Like when I was doing the short practicing for the short film with my friend, he bought us dinner every time we rehearsed.
oh wow, you went all out, huh?
He's like, if you can't pay your actors, you can feed them. So we were well fed.
Well, that's good at least.
The mayor says people knock on his. We were talking about knocking on windows. The mayor says people knock on his windows in the middle of the night. Well, that's scary.
What?
Classy Lonnie Metal agrees that he does not like knocking people knocking on the door. Hmm.
Well, especially if you don't know anyone's coming over. It's like, who the hell is knocking on my door?
Salesperson? Is it a robber? Is it someone calling or knocking to tell me about the Lord?
I mean, I hope that it's just someone to tell me about the Lord, because, like, in where I live in Oshawa, Ontario, let me tell you, it's basically like a mini Detroit, and you have a lot. Yeah, it's. I like to joke and call Oshawa the armpit of Ontario, because there is a lot of crime and just sketchy people here. I mean, not everywhere in Oshawa. Like North Oshawa is fine. It's closer to Whitby, and there's a little more classy people there. But like where I am in the south of Oshawa, oh boy, like I'm lucky I don't have crackheads coming up to my door and knocking and trying to like hold a knife up for money every other week.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's pretty sketch. I'm not gonna lie, Oshawa is pretty sketch.
That sucks. And you don't have air conditioning.
No, no, don't have air conditioning, so it's hot as balls.
All the houses here have central air conditioning.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Everyone has air conditioning here, and it goes all the time. It's always on.
Oh, I'm jealous.
It's really wasteful, but it's how we live.
Yeah. Uh, Air conditioning would be lovely when I'm trying to edit on a very hot laptop.
Gosh, I bet.
But no, yeah, the mayor. That's very scary, my friend. I don't know why anyone would be knocking on your windows in the middle of the night. I'd say get some security cameras and maybe some self defense stuff going on, because that's really creepy.
I'm scared. I picture them just like tapping on the window.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be creepy. I could just imagine like you hear the knocking and then you get up from your bed and look, and there's like this like creepy clown looking in waving at you like, ah.
It's a good short film idea. Which one of us is going to take it?
You can, by the time I get around to it, you'll probably have already made 3 of them. So
We'll see. We will see.
um speaking of indie film ideas, I've been recently uh unabashedly binging your Giallo uh videos.
Yay!
So that just kind of makes me wonder: do you ever have plans to do maybe a kind of like a, what do you call that? I can't think of the word, but like a giallo type
Yeah,
style indie.
I would love to do something like that to pay homage to Giallo. I don't know what, but I'm thinking, something about
Mhm.
a black gloved killer or a fedora trench coated killer, or I don't know, something. Even if it's just very, very short, I want to have some sort of Giallo style creation at some point because that's my favorite thing.
Yeah, it's kind of something new for me. When it comes to horror films, is the Giallo style of Italian kind of horror films. But I've been getting into it more and more. I'm very new to it. I kind of been just checking out what Shudder has to offer in the Giallo section
Yeah.
because I don't know if anyone watching this knows that has Shudder, but you can actually go to collections and then scroll down, and it should say Horror 101. And if you go through that list, you should be able to find Giallo. And then they have a list of, I think, like 20, 25 in there. And that's just kind of what I've been picking at slowly but surely. The wife isn't really a fan of it, mostly because of the subtitles. She's not a fan of having to read subtitles when it comes to like films in general. So add that to the B movie level of Giallos, and the extraness of the acting. Sometimes she can't get into it, but I'm trying to at least watch one every other night.
Awesome. That's a pretty good rate.
Yeah, what have I seen so far? I think the first one I watched was Pieces, which the group on Facebook is half and half split on whether it's a giallo or not. But I don't know. It looks giallo to me.
Yeah,
Um,
I it's I guess I don't know. Is it because it's American? Is that what the issue is? I don't
is
know.
it? I didn't even know it was American.
I can't remember. I'm sure the mayor would know, but um I it's Jollo enough for me to put it in there as a Jollo.
Yeah. What one of the guys commented in the Geoholics group on Facebook, and they're like, "Well, it's not really a Giallo." And me being the sarcastic bitch that I am, I'm like, "Oh, so it doesn't have a mysterious killer that the main character is trying to suss out that has black gloves and
And
doesn't get revealed until the end?" Like,
oh, I love that. Yeah, you get a lot of policing in the Jollo community.
like I don't know. Like I said, I'm pretty new to this, but like from what I've seen so far, Pieces checks off a lot of the list of what makes something giallo. So I don't know.
Oh, the mayor says that Pieces is Spanish. It's not American. Thank you, the mayor.
Thank you, sir. I don't know your pronouns, so I'm going to assume sir. Please feel free to correct me.
And I'd suggest a Spanish film called The Last Matinee on Shudder. It's a modern Jollo. I haven't watched it
Hmm.
yet.
I've heard the title and I was already intrigued, but now that I know that it's a modern giallo, I'm all in.
Yeah, I don't know. I have access to Shudder. I don't know why I'm not watching it more. I watch most of my stuff on YouTube and Tubi.
Nice. I'd be too scatterbrained to like go type in every title and look for very specific movies each time. I just kind of like having a platter in front of me and just going, "Ooh, that looks good. Ooh, that looks good."
I think Shudder, since they actually like categorize things, that's really helpful. Did you say you've seen Torso yet?
Yes, Torso I watched after Pieces because I don't know, the cover looked awesome. The person in the cover was wearing like a pink balaclava. And I'm like, that's cool. I know that it was just like a color grading for the cover. He actually wears a black one in the movie, but that was neat. I'm like, a pink balaclava for a killer. All right, I'm in. That's I'm so dumb when it comes to things like that. Like if I see a really cool looking cover, I want to watch it. Like Cry Wolf, how it had the guy with the orange balaclava and the knife. I'm like, yep, I'm watching that.
And that's the thing about these Jalo movies is that a lot of times the title is cooler than the movie is, or the cover is cooler than the movie actually is. But hey, I'm a sucker for it anyway. I'll still click on it if it has a great title.
Yeah, sorry, I was just reading the comments.
Me
If I
too.
looked like I was blanking, that's not because the hamster fell off the wheel or anything. Uh, um, but no, yeah, I definitely would be interested in seeing the last matinee. Um, I think the last two that I saw Giallo wise was A Blade in the Dark and Tenebrae.
I
The
love A Blade in the Dark.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I know the Blade in the Dark or A Blade in the Dark was one of your favorites. Um, the only thing now, tell me if I'm wrong, if this is the wrong movie, but the only thing that really annoyed me about A Blade in the Dark was, and this is just probably because of my orientation, is just those kids calling that other kid a female over and over again. And I'm like, is that really like? I get it. It's it's such a small thing to get triggered by, but it was just really annoying. And the fact that it was repetitive and happened like multiple times throughout the movie, and like,
Yeah, you do get a little bit of that sort of thing from that era in this genre, for sure. It's just, yeah, I totally get what you're saying there. And certain twist endings in some of these movies are just like, that shouldn't be horror, but okay. I don't want to spoil
yeah,
anything.
no. Like sort of like you don't want to spoil the end of Sleepaway Camp.
Exactly.
That you'll never forget that ending. Holy shit!
And no one should ever take that away from anyone else.
No, no, you got to see that. If anyone's watching this and you haven't seen Sleepaway Camp, Uh, I would say just grin and bear the campiness, literally, because they're at camp. But also just the B movie level of it all. Just watch it for the cool little Easter eggs. Sleepaway Camp is one of those movies that likes to throw in like hints to Freddy, hints to Jason, hints to Michael Myers, and stuff like that. And then that ending, just every horror fan has to see. So, yeah.
And if you can film yourself reacting to the ending, it's even better.
Yeah, tag me in that shit because that'll be funny as hell. Um, so yeah, I'm not trying to be a little snowflake about stuff like that when it comes to old horror movies. I know old horror movies had a lot of non-PC and a lot of
Mm-hmm.
very racism filled things going on in it, and a lot of uh, perceived sexism. I know a lot of people like to go, "Oh, giallos are uh,
Misogynistic.
yeah, that was the word. I was going to say misanthropic, but I'm like, nope, that's me. Misogynistic and stuff like that. But are they though? Like, I don't see. Like, I saw your video on that, and I was just like nodding my head. I'm like, yeah, I agree. Like, there's the only way that this is misogy or could be misogynistic is if the director themselves hated women, or the production team hated women, or something like that, had a problem with women. And I don't see that being the thing that is going on there. It's just they're showing pretty women because people like to see pretty women and people like to see pretty men. Like, they like to see attractive people on screen. So that's what you're getting. People want to see horror and blood and thrills and chills. So that's what you're getting on screen. They just have to be mixing the two.
Yeah, that's
Like,
very well said. I mean, as simple as that. Yeah, but you're right. Giallo, especially like in the 70s, they said a lot of things about many different groups of people that really it wouldn't fly. It wouldn't be in movies today. So
no.
there is a little bit of that incorrectness.
Yeah. And, as someone who's in the LGBT community in more ways than one, I just try to kind of like overlook those parts of the films and just realize it's a product of the times. If I can't just get over it and enjoy the movie, then I don't know. I feel like that's on me, not on the director. It You can't. I mean, you can if you want, but you can't take these movies personally. I feel like if you're a person of color watching these movies, you you might feel that little twinge of, ugh, that was cringe and hard to sit through. But I feel like if you're a person of color with a head on your shoulders, you'll be able to understand these movies are what they are for the times, and just be able to enjoy the slasher aspects, enjoy the mystery, enjoy the very attractive people that are on screen, and et cetera, et cetera. You know, like
Yeah.
it's called adulting.
Yeah. Just, recognize where the faults were, but try, like you said, just try to enjoy it for what it is. But you also don't have to if you don't want to.
Oh
So,
yeah, you could totally. I think there's a website. Do you know Sarah Hawkinson?
oh yeah.
She frequents this website that tells you about trigger warnings and racism and like LGBT related slurs and stuff like that.
Did
So
did does the dog die.com or something?
yeah, something like that. But it'll tell you if there's anything like really disgusting or offensive in the film, so you don't have to watch it. And I don't know the site, but if I find it, I will try to put it in the description box below. But I'm going to have to go stalk Sarah Hawkinson's channel for a bit to figure that out first. But also, great channel. Go check her stuff out. Katie of the Night and Sarah Hawkinson are probably the top two horror metal channels that I watch with female representation. So yeah, um, definitely recommend both their channels, not just because I'm interviewing her, but also because it's great content. So yeah, uh, yeah. Do you have any suggestions for anyone who's watching and has never heard of Giallo before? Do you have like 4 or 5 films that they absolutely must see?
Yes. Well, of course, Dario Argento and his films are heavily recommended, such as Opera, Deep Red, Tenebrae, and things like that. But I personally would like to suggest The Strange Vice of Mrs. Ward, The Case of the Scorpion's Tail. I would say A Blade in the Dark. That was one of my first. What are some others that I made a video about my top recs for beginners. I don't remember what all I put on there.
I'm surprised you didn't mention A Lady Above Suspicion.
Oh, okay. I don't recommend that to people because they think it's boring.
Oh, really?
There's not enough bloodshed.
Oh,
But like something like Torso, yeah, it's really like kind of nasty, but it's also very like brutal. It really just depends on what people want from Giallo. If you want a soap opera, you can have one, and if you want a brutal slasher, you can have one too. So anything by Sergio Martino, Dario Argento, and there's a little bit of Lucio Fulci Giallo movies to watch, but those are like the big three
no,
recommendations from
yeah.
me.
Those are all really good. Basically, anything by, like you said, Dario Argento, or as I call him, Dargento.
I love
Uh,
Argento.
yeah. Um, Pretty much like really, really good. I would suggest a lot of the Mario Bava or his son, Let
Verto.
the, yeah, that. Any of the Bava uh, people, excellent writer directors, excellent films. Um, the the giallo that I am probably more drawn to is the typical gory slasher. But as Katie mentioned, there are quite a few subgenres of giallo. There's drama, there's the psych, there's the cop mystery,
Mhm.
um, and then it kind of goes back and forth on that too. It's like some are, I almost said Argento, but probably his too. But some Giallo are very male, masculine centric, and you'll also find some that are very female and feminine centric films as well. So it depends on your taste. You can really, really refine what you're looking for when it comes to horror inside Giallo. So if you see one that you're just like, wow, that was boring as fuck and I didn't like it, try some other stuff. It's, not everyone wants to sit through a kind of gothic romance with a little bit of scandal. Some people just want blood and guts and dead girls, and that's just how it goes sometimes.
Yeah,
But
I think that's how most of us ended up in Giallo, was for the blood and guts, but I found myself to like the other subgenres as well. Like the boring ones, like Forbidden Photos of a Lady Above Suspicion.
I've heard so much about that movie that I don't even care about how quote unquote boring it is. I'm gonna have to see the damn thing just so I can form my own opinion. Like that, the crystal plumage,
Oh,
um, the what's that gothic one where the woman's in a castle?
we have a few.
Oh, my brain.
Um, um, um. Death Smiles on a Murderer.
Yeah, I think that might be it. I'll probably end up watching All the Colors of the Dark first, though. To be honest,
Ooh, that's another great one. That's a good one.
really
Mhm.
ominous, creepy cover too. A little cheeky too, but yeah, I like the cover of that one.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good one.
Mm.
The mayor recommends from Fulci, Don't Torture a Duckling and
Mm.
The Psychic.
Yeah, the duckling one. That's with the priests trying to kill the children. Ugh, that's. I'm gonna watch it, but that just gives me the creeps.
Yeah, that one's the sad Jalo.
So bring some Kleenexes, is what you're saying.
Yeah. But I thought The Psychic was pretty good. I think I need to rewatch it.
What was the other title for the psychic? Wasn't it Orgasmo or something?
No, Orgasmo is known as Paranoia and Orgasmo.
Oh, right.
I don't know what's The Psychic's alternate title was.
Oh, that's definitely something we should mention too. If you stuck around this long and you are enjoying our Giallo talk, cool. But if you don't know about Giallo, get ready for the titles and the alternate titles and the alternate titles, because there's normally going to be the either Italian or Hungarian or Spanish title, or there's going to be like the American version of it, and then there's going to be the director's alternate title that they wanted to make it but then couldn't make it because someone else took the title or didn't work in copyright for whatever reason. So yeah, each film's probably going to have at least two or three alternate titles.
Yeah, and sometimes two films have the same alternate title, but they're two different films.
like that uh like that movie that you're saying that the killer kills the pregnant women and you have to remind yourself this is the one about that.
Yes, because that just doesn't have anything to do with what's happening. Well, don't tell anyone what movie that is because that's a spoiler.
Right.
Well, it's not really a spoiler. It's not really a spoiler. But I like to go in totally blind, not knowing anything about a movie besides its crazy title.
Yeah, the again, if you are new to Giallo and you don't know what to get into, you might find yourself getting into them the way I get into them, just like this is the coolest fucking title I've ever heard, or wow, this cover is so like you know uh, abrasive and colorful that how could I not want to watch it?
Hmm. The titles get me. That's why Suspicious Death of a Minor was one of the first Jollos that I watched.
That sounds cheeky too. That one sounds like,
Suspicious. It was more of a cop movie.
oh, is
People
it?
people get mad when I say it wasn't good, but it was a cop movie, so I didn't like it.
The mayor says he thinks the psychic's other title is Seven Black Notes.
Yeah,
That's
you're right. Seven Notes in Black or something.
yeah, that sounds about right. I mean, a lot of Giallo love to use numbers and animals in their titles, so
And
I believe it.
colors. Yeah. There should be like a Giallo movie title generator that you could just click on and it'll give you a
Oh
random
my
number,
god.
animal, and color.
Yes. I totally agree with that. That I would have too much fun trying to generate like a million of those titles.
Right? Maybe there is one. We don't know.
Well, I mean, since we're talking about Giallo at this point, we're kind of knee deep in it. But have you seen the yellow, black, and red box sets by Arrow that they have?
Yeah.
Have you seen the price on those?
Yes.
Oh my god, my wallet cried when I saw it because I'm like, oh, a box set of Giallo films. What an amazing way to start a collection! And then I saw the price. I'm like, I ran out of that site so fast. I still think there's fingerprints left in it, but yeah.
I'm like, I can't even look. Yeah, there's a reason I made a no budget movie. But I'm not like I don't have to have Blu-ray or I don't have to have collector's editions. So I just as long as I can get my favorites on DVD of some kind, I'm good. I just want to be able to watch them regardless of what subscription I'm paying for at the time. So,
Oh, oh, same girl. Like I don't need the 4K steelbook, release. Like I'm good with a simple DVD as long as it's region one. Thanks.
yeah, me too. Me too. Maybe that'll change one day, but that's where I am at this point in my life.
Like if we're talking about me, the only reason I get Blu-ray, let alone 4K or Laserdisc or whatever that other stuff is because they don't have a copy on DVD.
Yeah.
Like if I go to Walmart or if I go to my local used CD DVD store, if they got a Blu-ray copy and they got a DVD copy for like $4 less, I'm getting the regular DVD copy. So the only thing that annoys me though, if you're a collector, they've started this fucking push for Blu-ray so hard that you don't get special features on DVDs anymore. If there's a Blu-ray copy out, they make sure to load that sucker up with 4 or 5 different like commentaries, behind the scenes, deleted scenes, special this, special that. But if you want the DVD copy, nope, fuck you. You get the movie and that's it.
You get the poor people's version.
Yeah,
The mayor says they're guilty of buying 4K box sets.
I applaud all of the money you have thrown towards those, but uh, I don't have money to buy films, let alone make films, but I'm still trying.
Um, yeah, they say if it's what you love, you'll find a way. But I'm just gonna find a way with my DVDs for sure. I'm
Yeah.
getting a pretty nice little baby collection of DVDs, though. I'm happy.
Yeah, we have an insane amount of horror movies, but it again, it's mostly regular DVD. There's not many Blu-ray, and I don't know. I want to start collecting Giallo on DVD, but I'm worried that it's going to be um, one, expensive as hell, but two, I feel like it's going to be hard to find uh, Giallo films on Region One. Do you find that it's hard to find Region One uh, Giallo?
No, it's not. A lot of I don't even know the terminology, but a lot of companies pick up these movies and print them here in region. Are we in the same region?
Yeah, Canada and the U.S. is all Region One.
Keep forgetting you're not in my country. That's so weird.
Yeah, I'm a filthy Canadian.
But a lot of North American, excuse me, a lot of North American uh, companies are printing these movies in our region. I I don't think I There are a couple that I haven't been able to find yet, but there's a great supply out there for sure.
All right, that's good. That got my hopes up a little bit. I mean, I feel like I'm probably not going to be able to go to my used CD slash DVD store and find Giallos there, but
Yeah.
my interest, or I mean, my hope for possibly seeing them there is peaked a little bit. Then, if there's not like a lack of Region One.
There's, I mean, I'm sure there's at least a chance you can find an Argento DVD in there one day. He's practically mainstream
Yeah,
at this point.
yeah, I feel like Fulci and Argento will be the things that I'll stumble across a lot faster, but I don't think I'm going to find any Bava in there.
Unless you can find a really super cool store, like this one that the mayor told me about in North Carolina called Orbit DVD, and they just have everything. The mayor says just check eBay. That's how I started collecting used DVDs. eBay's a good
Hmm.
idea. I always forget about eBay.
No, it's good. Same with Amazon, but the problem is I'm also like yeah, a kung fu cinema collector, and I find a lot of the older kung fu cinema films are either A, really hard to find, or B, they're region 2. So if you live in England, you can fucking watch it, but if you're North American, wah wah wah, not happening. So and if you plan on buying stuff on Amazon, .ca or .com, be very careful about, I don't know, you can't really be careful. It's either a flip of the coin or just get it somewhere else, because a lot of the uh, US sellers, they carry region 2 as well. So if you're trying to find a Giallo or an old kung fu cinema flick, like the Iron Monkey or something, you might get a region 2, and they don't give a shit. Like if you buy it and you're like, hey, this is region 2, I can't play it on my Xbox or my DVD player or my PlayStation, whatever you have, they don't care. They'll be like, no, you got the DVD, this is what was shown on the site, too bad for you. So yeah, I'd be really, really cautious about buying like foreign films on Amazon unless you can specifically see in the description that it says region 1. I don't know, I'd be very cautious.
Hmm.
So yeah, at least with eBay, most of the DVD sellers will have in the description, it'll say like in teeny little letters, but they'll say it somewhere what region it is. But yeah, region 1 works in North America, Canada, or US, and region 0 works everywhere. So look for a 0 or a 1. Don't get region 2 if you're not in England or in Europe. Don't get region 3 or 4 unless you're in Australia or China. So yeah.
Yeah, it's always a kind of a concern. I bought a few off of Amazon and it's been okay. I haven't had any problems, but I'm always cautious.
And by a few, do you mean Giallo or just in general?
Oh yeah, Giallo. Yeah, that's pretty much all I'm buying now.
Um, no, that's good. That's good. One way to tell, if you care, and you've got this far in the video, by the way, thank you for watching. But if you care, one way you can tell on Amazon whether you're buying a fucking a region 2 and getting screwed is on the DVD covers. You will see if it's like somewhere in England or British or the UK or whatever. You'll see at the bottom around here and around this way here on the left and right at the bottom, you'll have two circles. One will probably say, you know, PG 14A rated R, whatever, and then the other will be, I think, the region code or something else. But if you see a DVD that has those two circles at the bottom, probably region 2. And if you're not in North America, don't buy it, even if you flip through and you can see alternate thumbnails for the movie. If you see those two circles, I highly wouldn't recommend buying it, because again, if you buy it and you get it and you confirm that you've received it, the buyer doesn't care, Amazon doesn't care. To them, you bought what you paid for, and they're not giving your money back. And they'll be like, well, you can return it. Like, I could, but then I have to pay the returning shipping fee, and then you're not going to pay me back for that. So then, I'm out $7, $8, $9. So no thanks.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think there is a good supply of Giallo in our region. Yeah. I think there's a lot to be bought. It
That's
doesn't
good.
have to be from Arrow.
True. But sorry for the rant. I don't want anyone to get screwed over from buying off of Amazon, and I've had run-ins with that issue before, and I know tracking down rare foreign movies is very hard. So just for those people that are looking there, just go with caution.
The mayor says if you're buying Blu ray, look for region A or ABC for everywhere.
Wait, Blu-ray doesn't have Region 1?
I don't know.
Shit, I need to go look again.
You can get a region free player.
For $2,000. Actually, I have no idea how much they cost.
Me either.
So, the mayor, if you're still watching, how much does region-free Blu-ray players cost, and where do you normally get these things? Because I've never seen them in the wild.
Yes, tell us so we don't have to Google it. This is how people used to learn things by asking other people.
Snail mail. PAL, not NTC on European releases. Sorry, Gary, I'm not sure what that means, but
I was like, I hope you know what that means.
oh, apparently Amazon sells region-free players.
Nice.
Cool. I will have to see how much they cost then, because I'm sick and tired of not knowing whether something's region 1 or not, and having anxiety until the freaking thing shows up in the mail.
Some Arrow UK and Shameless Blu-rays say that they're region B, but they'll actually be all regions. Great, it's even more confusing.
Well, I would call that a happy accident for sure, because if I was like nervous about getting something that's not my region and it ended up being all regions, I would be, crying a sigh of relief, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, what's worse than being super duper excited for this awesome new foreign film that you really, really wanted to see, thought it was rare, didn't think you were ever going to find a copy of it, finding a copy of it, getting it home, and then going, wah, wah, region 2.
Mm. Hurts my heart.
Oh, I don't know if you saw it or not, Katie, but I thought you'd enjoy the Goosebumps shirt.
Yeah, I meant to say something. What book is it on the shirt? Is it a certain book?
Oh, sorry. It's kind of like a compilation. I'm gonna go slow because this thing's gonna be blurry.
Oh, I see Slappy.
Yeah, so it's got Horror Camp,
Mask.
uh, The Mask, Slappy, Camp Jelly, and what the hell is this one? Oh, The Scarecrow Walks at Midnight.
The Scarecrow Walks at Midnight is my favorite. Oh, I love it. That's sick.
Yeah, so good.
I like the tie-dye too.
Thank you. I actually recently made a tie-dye, uh, like candy corn colored tie-dye shirt for my Spirit Halloween shirt. Uh, it says H is for Halloween, and then it's got Michael Myers with a knife behind some kids picnicking. So, yeah, look, yeah, right, so cute. But I'll have a video of the process actually being done and the results in an actual video on here, maybe Monday next week.
Awesome.
So yeah, don't worry, you'll see it.
Good. Okay, the mayor gave us the answer. I bought my region free player from Amazon. It was 270. It's it's also a 4K player as well as region free for all Blu-rays and DVDs.
270, I'm assuming US dollars.
Yeah.
So that's a fat 300 for me, probably.
Ow.
Oof. Yeah.
Like, uh,
Yeah. $300 for a DVD player is, I mean, that's like normal price back in the 90s, I think. But like,
yeah, it was. Yeah.
but now I could pick up a Blu-ray player from Walmart for $35.
That bear is just watching movies constantly on that region free player. When they're home, they've just got a movie. That's fun about it.
Uh-oh.
Can you hear me?
Oh, I can now. For a
Oh,
second there,
did I go quiet?
I mean, we could hear you. It just sounded like you were in the next room.
Okay. Maybe I moved too far away from the mic. I don't know.
Is it a unidirectional?
I don't know.
Because if it's a unidirectional mic, that means it'll only take sound from the tip. That sounds funny. Um, but if it's an omnidirectional, it'll take from all around. So think of it this way: unidirectional is like a shotgun mic for the person with the boom, and an omnidirectional is like everywhere, sort of like your cell phone audio, which is, oh god, it's going to be a nightmare with my Samsung. But yeah,
I'm it's a good challenge though. I am interested to see how things turn out. And it's going to
if
be a process of learning and fun.
mm, uh, side note, if you see a lot of close-ups when people are talking, you know why.
Hey, it's 70s style.
Yeah. Uh,
$46. Hmm. Okay, apparently there are other cheaper options for a region free player depending on, what you want from it.
well, that's good to know. I don't think I could feasibly drop $300 for a DVD player right now. So
I have to start a GoFundMe for that.
yeah, go fund my foreign films obsession, please, so I can get a multi-region player.
Right?
It's for the good of cinema, I swear. Actually, speaking of for the good of cinema, I probably won't keep you too much longer on here. I told the wife that the stream was probably not going to push past 9, and I know you probably have other things you need to do. Um, but speaking of for the good of cinema, uh, there was a video you were talking about back on your channel, um, about the meaning of life and how people, not every person needs to have a super ridiculous like purpose in their life. Like some people are writers and directors. Some people are just fans of the subject that you're presenting. Uh, like not everyone's an artist, not everyone's putting product out into the world. And that's fine because those products and films and art pieces wouldn't go anywhere if they didn't have fans or people enjoying the product. So, yeah, that kind of reminded me of that little discussion that you had.
Yeah, it's important to be a fan, and I think there's meaning in being a fan too. And I mean, I said, I don't, you've heard me say all this, but I just find a lot of fulfillment in like watching movies and listening to music. And one day I was like, maybe that is my meaning of life. Maybe that is my purpose. Maybe my purpose isn't to make something or, as you said, produce something. I like that term there. But maybe my purpose is just to enjoy. So maybe I should start a GoFundMe. Just kidding. But like, I don't know. It doesn't have to be about output. Maybe for some of us, it's about input. Like, what are we taking in?
Yeah, it's hard though, because I know everyone. I mean, like, I'm obviously not the only one on this planet who feels this way, and clearly you're not from your discussion. But it's hard because I know probably, if not everyone, wants to leave some sort of meaningful mark on this planet. They don't want to just wander through life like an aloof, happy cloud and just disappear and no one care. Like, I feel like everyone wants to be remembered, or not
Significant.
just, yeah, they just don't want to be instantly forgotten as soon as they're dead. Like, that would be a tragedy for sure in my eyes. Like, and I guess my long-winded point is, you don't have to be some huge sort of Hollywood celebrity or contributor to either science or arts or architecture in order to be important. You can be important by participating and observing and being a part of the um, consumer, I guess. And that sounds weird, and I know it does, but the point that Katie was making in the video was that even the consumer has a purpose. You know, you're not going to go to McDonald's and, you know, get a burger and fries without someone making the damn burger and fries. There has to be someone there working, someone there making the stuff in order for you to be able to go and eat it and spend the money and, whatever. If someone's making a film, same thing. If there's no one there to watch it, that film dies. It goes into obscurity, and that is the last thing any director wants. That's the last thing any musician wants, is their stuff to never be heard, to not be talked about, to not have a reason to do shows. Like, if no one shows up at a rock concert, you know, the Rolling Stones are playing for no one but themselves and their managers. So, like,
Yeah, yeah, that's all really well said. You have a good way of articulating the things that I'm trying to say, and I can't quite get it out.
that's because I live with existential dread.
Yeah, I think where the consumers have a very important role as well.
Mhm. Yeah. So, just, if you're ever feeling down about yourself and you're feeling like, I haven't added anything productive to society, all I do is go to work, come home, eat and sleep and repeat the cycle. Well, maybe you don't. Maybe you actually do something more than that and you don't realize it. That, you know, your friend's band that you go and see every other week and hear the same old material over and over again, that friend appreciates it. They're glad that you show up every time and sit, like, stand in the crowd and bob around, enjoy yourself and pay the entry fee. They care. They're happy you're sharing their new single on Instagram or Facebook. That band cares. You might be one out of 30 or 30,000 fans, but you're still contributing. You're still sharing. You're still enjoying it. You're still making that dream happen for that band. And same thing with directors, same thing with actors. They don't get paid if no one goes to see their films, or they might get paid the one time, but if no one goes to see it, they're not getting paid again. Like, it's being a consumer or a fan or someone that just partakes isn't meaningless.
Yeah, and like you were saying, even if someone's day is just waking up, going to work, coming home, eating, going to bed, well, if you can fit in a movie that day before bed or something, that is putting something into your life each day that makes you happy, and that's giving your life meaning, even if it's just watching a movie.
Yep, and the as long as you're not pirating it, of course. the director and the actors thank you for, you know, picking up a copy of that DVD. The band thanks you for picking up a copy of their latest, you know, EP or CD that they, you know, would have otherwise went nowhere. You know, like it's, I don't think people realize the butterfly effect they have on others around them, whether it's small or big. If I never existed, now I'm not going to try and pat myself on the back or anything, but if I never existed, who knows? Maybe some of the bands that I've done reviews on my channel for would have never got heard or listened to. Maybe none of the obscure films that I talk about, I don't really talk about obscure films, I don't think, but could be obscure to you watching. But, you know, who knows? That film might not have taken off. That actor might not have got recognized. Like, uh, things like that. Like if you're whoever was watching right now, if you didn't exist, think about all of the artists and art that might not have got recognized, or the employees that might not have gotten paid, even if it's something stupid like going to McDonald's. Like, you know, you're contributing in some way and you need to be there, otherwise these things might not even exist.
Yeah, everyone matters. Everyone
i'm not
matters.
I'm not going to say all lives matter, but they kind of matter. Cheeky. No. It was a very interesting philosophical point of view, and I figured we're this deep now into the stream. It could be something nice to actually like think about too,
Yeah.
because it's not something that not I don't know. I find not many people bring that up, especially in the metal or horror or whatever um, circles on YouTube. They don't really like to get too deep or philosophical or political. Well, political and religion, all that stuff is probably best to not talk about, because that's just going to get you in a heap of shit no matter what side you're on. But philosophy words, yeah, philosophy is definitely something that I think is rare, and especially that kind of deep thought is rare in these circles. And if you're feeling down or whatever and you feel like you don't matter, hopefully this conversation will turn that around for you and make you realize you do matter, uh, and probably in ways you didn't even realize you did. So yeah, and let's just say that goes for the creators in this world too. um, I'm not going to say music saved my life or anything, because I don't know, that's a bit of a stretch, but like something in art, whether it's music or movies or actual like paintings and stuff, do affect people. And it's, you know, I hope that as a musician or filmmaker or art, like, you know, graphic designer, I hope something that I've made touches someone that way and matters when I'm gone too. And I'm sure Katie, you feel the same too. Like, we don't just make it for shits and giggles. We do this stuff for uh like a good reason too.
Hmm. Yeah, and now you've got like what, almost 10 years of YouTube videos forever living on the internet.
uh I don't know. Do I? Have I been on this thing for 10 years? Jesus Christ, I hope not. Uh,
I think.
I know I made the account in 2007 or 8, but I don't think I actually started doing anything significant until I made that Black Sabbath 13 album review. And I think I started actually taking my channel seriously and not just using it to watch 18 plus videos. So, um, but yeah, we're almost coming to a close here. Uh, I can't say it enough. Go to Katie of the Night's channel, subscribe, or at least watch a dozen and a half videos and see if it's worth the hype, because I feel like her channel is worth the hype. Um, it's definitely up on the worth the hype tier for me.
Oh, I see you.
Yeah, yeah.
Thanks.
No problem. But yeah, please, everyone who's checking the stream out, and if you've made it this far, you best get the hell over there and subscribe and at least check out some stuff on her channel. I have links in the description box below, so there's no excuse. And also, please go check out her and her husband's pretty cool short horror film, The Stairs to Nowhere. Um, that's it for me. Is there anything last thing you'd want to talk about or say before we close up the stream for the night?
I don't think so. I think I'm good. Except I just wanted to point out that we've been following each other for many years here on YouTube. I'm not even sure how long.
Um, I don't know off the bat.
But I just remember you being one of the earlier channels when I started. You were the earlier channels that I started to follow. I just think that's cool. I just wanted to add that.
Oh, wait. So did you follow me first?
Probably.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that. Um, yeah. I want to say something about that too. Like most YouTubers that I don't know, that's kind of a blanket statement. I don't want to wrap anyone up in a blanket. That sounds weird. Anyways, I was going to say that even if you are a fan of YouTubers and you don't think that they're ever going to watch you back or check out your stuff or ever think you exist, maybe try some smaller YouTubers and give them a shot, because when we're starting out, just like Katie and I, when we start out, we really do care about the subscribers and people that are interacting with our channels. And YouTube likes to, apologies for the language, but they like to fuck the small YouTubers really hard. I don't know what it is. I've been talking with my friend from Mike in the Woods about search engine optimization, I guess, the SEO thing. And I feel like that might help a bit. As you've seen on my channel, I've been trying some really weird YouTubery looking thumbnails. That is not my thing. I'm not really the like super clickbaity looking thumbnail type. Yeah, just the weird faces and then the big splash text. That just letting you know that is not me. I am trying to do the whole search engine optimization thing just to get YouTube to recognize the small channel and try to get some more views going, because over the last year or so, the small channels have been taking a huge dive, and there's a lot of channels that I'm subscribed to that are around anywhere from 300 subscribers to 8 9 thousand subscribers that have been dropping off, and it's not due to a lack of good content. These people have been putting in hard work year after year, and just for whatever reason YouTube's like, nope, we're not showing you to anyone. Maybe your subscribers might see you, maybe, but that's about it. And I don't know what it is. So like I said, I've been trying to look into search engine optimization, and with that comes the really stupid looking YouTubery looking thumbnails. So if any of you guys are long-term fans of this channel or Katie's channel, and you see us doing these really dumb YouTubery thumbnails, it's not because we're trying to sell out. It's not because we're trying to be popular or anything like that. It's because we're really trying to get ahead of the algorithm and trying to get our channels seen like they were before. Now, but I don't know. So yeah, I just want to say, if you see any weird things like that or weirdly worded titles, that's why. Not because I'm all of a sudden, you know, you know, turn to Christ or something. No, nothing crazy or news happened like that. It's just we're trying to stay ahead of the curve, and we're trying to still remain relevant and seen, and so that our supporters and fans and people that like watching our content can see it, and so YouTube will actually put it out there, because it's hard. It's not easy being a small YouTuber. The analytics favor people like Markiplier and Jacksepticeye and all those 10 million subscriber channels, like Game Theory and stuff like that. And even Jacksepticeye has said there is something seriously wrong with YouTube. He made a video a couple weeks ago, and then he made one, I think, yesterday, saying it's broken, like something's fucked up with it. So yeah, if you're not seeing us, that's why. And like in my please watch video, We really need your help. Katie, me, Classy Lonnie, and other channels out there like that. As Eggs Abyss, I keep plugging my boy. He's been the sport from day one. But yeah, we really need your help. Like if you can, please subscribe. Really obvious things by now, but that helps. And if you really feel like helping, share the video, share the new Giallo update that Katie has, share the new collection update that I have, share Lonnie's next metal collection F to G or whatever you got coming out. Like just share these things on Facebook, share it in your stories on Instagram. If you see us on Instagram, share our thing to your story. Anything helps, but like we as small YouTubers really need the push. So uh that's the last bit of my commercialism here. So thank you. Thank you so much, Katie, for coming on and sharing the behind the scenes and awesome indie secrets of your film, Stairs to Nowhere. And uh, hopefully, we'll see you again in a future live stream. And if none of you guys know this was her first, give her a round of applause. She did an amazing job. Uh, like, I'm sure I would have been a nervous wreck and just would have had to like run off screen to compose myself. It was my first one, so yeah, did an amazing job. Thanks again for being on here, and hopefully we'll either see you again on this channel or maybe we can talk some Giallo and fashion or something like that on yours in the future.
Yeah.
And if you need help setting it up, I can help, or whoever. So
Thank you. Thanks you for your interest in my short film, and thanks for inviting me to come on. And it was great. You asked great questions, and it was a good talk. It was a really good talk.
thank you so much. All right, everyone, that's it from myself, Black Metal Rebellion, and Katie from Katie of the Night. Again, you better go there and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video. For glory, for the rebellion, Slimer out. Stay spooky.